1. Hello, how are you? 2. What is your name? 3. Where are you from? 4. Nice to meet you. 5. How old are you? 6. Can you speak English? 7. I don't understand. 8. Please repeat that. 9. Excuse me, could you help me? 10. How do you say this in English? 11. What does this word mean? 12. I need to practice my English. 13. Where can I find an English class? 14. Do you have any recommendations for English learning resources? 15. Could you recommend a good English grammar book? 16. How can I improve my pronunciation? 17. Can you correct my mistakes? 18. I want to become fluent in English. 19. How long have you been learning English? 20. What is the best way to learn English? 21. Can you teach me some common English phrases? 22. What are the basic grammar rules in English? 23. How can I build my vocabulary? 24. Is there a difference between British English and American English? 25. Can you give me some tips for writing in English? 26. How can I overcome my fear of speaking in English? 27. Are there any English language exchange programs in this area? 28. What are some common idioms in English? 29. How can I understand native English speakers better? 30. Can you recommend any English-speaking movies or TV shows? 31. Can you suggest some English podcasts to listen to? 32. How can I practice English conversation skills? 33. What are some common English slang words and phrases? 34. Can you explain the difference between affect and effect? 35. What are some essential English phrases for travel? 36. How can I remember irregular verbs in English? 37. Can you recommend any English language apps? 38. What are some common English abbreviations? 39. Can you recommend any English language websites? 40. How can I improve my reading comprehension in English? 41. Can you suggest some English books for beginners? 42. What are some common English speaking mistakes to avoid? 43. How can I develop my listening skills in English? 44. Can you explain the present perfect tense in English? 45. How can I improve my English writing skills? 46. What are some common English proverbs and their meanings? 47. Can you recommend any English language schools? 48. How can I practice English on my own? 49. Can you explain the difference between there, and there? 50. What are some common English phrasal verbs? 51. How can I become more fluent in English? 52. Can you recommend any English grammar exercises? 53. What are some common English spelling rules? 54. How can I improve my English listening skills? 55. Can you explain the difference between it's and its? 56. What are some common English conversation topics? 57. How can I use English in everyday situations? 58. Can you recommend any English pronunciation resources? 59. What are some common English writing mistakes to avoid? 60. How can I practice English speaking with native speakers? 61. Can you explain the difference between a and an? 62. What are some common English irregular verbs? 63. How can I improve my English grammar? 64. Can you recommend any English language podcasts for beginners? 65. What are some common English expressions for giving directions? 66. How can I expand my English vocabulary? 67. Can you explain the difference between your and your? 68. What are some common English collocations? 69. How can I practice English pronunciation? 70. Can you recommend any English language YouTube channels? 71. What are some common English expressions for ordering food? 72. How can I improve my English speaking speed? 73. Can you explain the difference between to, and to? 74. What are some common English expressions for making plans? 75. How can I learn English effectively? 76. Can you recommend any English language forums? 77. What are some common English expressions for talking about the weather? 78. How can I improve my English reading speed? 79. Can you explain the difference between hear and listen? 80. What are some common English expressions for expressing emotions? 81. How can I practice English writing? 82. Can you recommend any English language dictionaries? 83. What are some common English expressions for shopping? 84. How can I improve my English speaking fluency? 85. Can you explain the difference between in and on? 86. What are some common English expressions for describing people? 87. How can I practice English grammar? 88. Can you recommend any English language blogs? 89. What are some common English expressions for asking for directions? 90. How can I improve my English speaking confidence? 91. Can you explain the difference between few and a few? 92. What are some common English expressions for introducing yourself? 93. How can I practice English listening comprehension? 94. Can you recommend any English language podcasts for advanced learners? 95. What are some common English expressions for making phone calls? 96. How can I improve my English speaking accuracy? 97. Can you explain the difference between much and many? 98. What are some common English expressions for talking about hobbies and interests? 99. How can I practice English conversation online? 100. Can you recommend any English language magazines or newspapers?